morning and welcoming in to the space of being, to this space of presence. As we call into light, connecting into our heart, into the center of all that we are. Part of what we wish to discuss today is this connection to more of who you are. So much of the struggle through the human experience is feeling not present, feeling as if there is something missing, feeling as if we are not fully whole and complete. We hear people speak of fragmentations, of soul pieces, of being split and scattered. And yet knowing that within us we hold a specific code, a specific signature, a specific tone that cannot be split from its origin. And so even though there may be separation, we have the ability to connect to these pieces and parts of us that we may feel are not fully present here in this now. And again, we would stress that it is not about going beyond the self. It is tapping in to this seed tone, this knowing within you, tapping in so deeply, even if it feels like the smallest connection to yourself that you hold. Even if you have to use a memory from childhood when you felt so present, so content, so completely at peace and whole. That is a time when you were holding a very strong vibration, a very strong connection to this tonal signature that you are. And so to connect to that strength of the tone, we can send out a call, amplifying. To these parts and pieces of ourselves. There's so much misinformation and misguidance. And oftentimes a part of our journey towards our remembrance will again involve looking at these outside sources. And oftentimes we have found that it brings more confusion than clarity, more questions than answers. And so we have adopted this phrase, this mantra, this way of looking and seeing at all of this information, juggling it with what we are feeling internally. To say that oftentimes when we see conflicting information, we ask, okay, if parts of either of these scenarios are true, what is the best course of action? That would lead us back to ourselves. For example, there are ideas that there are books, there are halls of wisdom, there is information that is somehow kept hidden from the masses, that we must travel to specific places or have specific access codes to be able to see, know, and feel our own truth, or the truth of humanity, the truth of the cosmic universe. And sometimes this may lead us on a quest where we don't know where we are going. We don't know what this looks like. We don't know what this feels like. And so it takes us beyond our own self. And then we come to the other end of this argument, which says that we are held fully within ourselves. All that we seek is within us. And yet oftentimes, because we are searching, because of the programming that has been instilled within us, we don't know how to connect to ourselves. We spent a lifetime learning to look outside. And so oftentimes we will sit and we will explore both experiences. And we'll say, well, if either of these cases are true, and also, how does my body respond? How does it feel? When I go searching external for these halls, for these libraries, for this wisdom, I cannot find this anyway. It leads me down rabbit holes. It creates more anxiety. When I try to search internal, I also feel lost. I don't know where this is within me. So these are the moments that we drop into the heart through the body and just breathe. And we sit in stillness. You simply breathe through the heart. And we wait and we allow for the confusion to pass. For the mind to settle. For when we are searching, it is an act of the mind. And we know this is the easiest and fastest way to be pulled out of our light, out of our center. For the mind is not at the forefront of our light form. It is the heart. It is the will of the light. That is at work here. It is the fire and the passion within the belly. That knows, that desires, that drives the heart forward. When we allow ourselves to drop into this internal space, this internal fire, this internal drive, also knowing this is a place where for so long many of us have been pulled out from. So it is a bit of a momentary effort, let's say, to allow ourselves to drop into this. As children, we automatically went here. Notice how we speak of children as being strong-willed, having a mind of their own. This is that energy, that space we are tapping back into within ourselves. And it may take some efforting at first. So we notice as we start to acclimate to this space deep within us, we may even start to recall the memories, the drive, the desires of our inner child, our inner light, before we were instilled with the programs, with the experiences that the programs created. Keep diving deeper, connecting deeper into your own space of creation, your own womb space. It is as if there is a small burrow beneath the earth here, lit up, warm golden tones. Where you can curl up within, releasing all the pain and the anxiety from the body, connecting you into your first love, your first joy, your first delights. The unbridled joy of being a child of the light. Your inner light being unleashed. And just notice the shift that's taking place within your belly, within the space of creation. The desire that is building. This is not a desire of going out and raising a sword and slaying all that does not agree. This is the pure desire of expressing oneself strongly, unashamedly, unapologetically. It is not forceful. It is expressive. There is a difference in those intentions. And notice this. Force would mean that we are pushing against something, that we are wanting acceptance, we are wanting others to see this expression of us. An expression would not care. It simply exists. It simply builds for the very joy of doing so. It has nothing to prove. And this is the shift we must make now in our understanding, in our awareness. We are here to be expressions of pure light. Not saviors, not enforcers, not warriors. All of those energies are working against something, pushing back on something. And if we continue to operate in that manner, we will never get beyond where we are now. The child does not question their talent, does not question their purpose, does not question their abilities. They simply do as the energy flows through them. They jump when they want to jump. They draw when they feel to draw, even if it is on a wall. They create because it is the impulse within them. They do not question if anyone will accept it, if anyone will acknowledge it, if anyone will applaud them for it. They simply do as they are. And so if we can tap back in to this way of being, which is a code of creation within us, this original creation tone to express from here. It does not matter if others are not yet accepting of your work or your expression. If you continue to come from that place before you decide to express your light, you will always feel burdened. You will always feel thwarted. So dive back deep into this burrow for a time to reconnect. And do not feel that you have to explode out into this world with some master plan of how you will do this. Again, that is starting to tap into these outer realms. Start with baby steps. One small expression of your true light. It may be simply one genuine, warm-hearted smile that you feel to give to someone who is not even looking in your direction. And yet you do it because it is an expression of who you are. You do it for yourself, not the other. Because this is who and what your heart is. This is what your essence is. And you notice how that allows your light to build. As you express these expressions of yourself. This light within yourself will only desire more expression. This is the basis of eternal energy. Some might say free energy principles. Because we are giving of it freely, because we are giving of it because it fuels us. For no other reason than this is what the self is desiring to express. It is that first impulse of light tone of the self through the body, through the form, connected to our origin of light. This free expression has been held captive for too long. It is time to relearn invoking this call deep down into the depths of the self. There is nothing else to do here today but to sit with this internal fire and allow it to build, allow it to speak to you and through you. Not to get beyond this process. This is a process of initiation into the light, into this remembrance, and so it will take time to reconnect, to rekindle this love affair with the self, with one's own light. So do not feel the need to go beyond here today. As always, we have enjoyed connecting in this way. We wish much peace and joy upon you and through this realm of stillness. Namaste.